Yo, 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 yo. What up? What it do, YouTube? That's right. It's your boy. I'm back. It's your boy. Back in the building. That boy, Lamont. That Wade Jones. And I just want to thank everybody who decided to stop and rock with that boy, Lamont. That way, Jones. This way. You dig? And with that being said, topic of discussion is putting my people up on how this social security number and even your birth certificate works and how the country uses it to their advantage. In other words, how the government uses it to your advantage. Because I've been hearing a lot of talk, about, lately on YouTube about people trying to explain how the social works and why we all have one. But see, a lot of people don't know that social security number that they use on you, for you, is also associated with your birth certificate, okay? Now, with that being said, I just want to break down a few things before, I explain to some of my people who don't know how this works, okay? But now, before I go there, I just want to explain something to you guys, okay? If you really ever paid attention to how, I know everybody and their mama then played Monopoly, okay? The game Monopoly. I know everybody is pretty much got to be, pretty much, how can I say, everybody's pretty much been, played Monopoly. I'm just going to put it like that. I ain't not going to try to, confuse nobody by using big words and all that shit, okay? But look, the main point that I'm trying to make is this. See, what a lot of people don't understand, man, your life is pretty much based on the game of Monopoly if you really look at it. And the reason I say that is this. Follow me on this. Think about it. The objective in the board game of Monopoly is to drive into bankruptcy all other players. An arrangement, otherwise known as a tongue-tied wagering scheme. Excuse me. And so it is in real life. If you examine the nature of economics in America today, you will see that everyone is competing for the same rationed amount of monopoly money called Federal Reserve notes. And think about that. See what I'm saying? And attempting to stay above water and avoid bankruptcy. This is by definition a de facto state of war between participants in both the board game and the game of life. And guess what? The only way to stay in the game of Monopoly, just like real life, think about it, and avoid bankruptcy is to obtain more Monopoly money from other players. See what I'm saying? The only way to stay in the game of life and avoid bankruptcy is to somehow obtain more Federal Reserve notes from the other players around you. And both the outcome is inevitable. Excuse me. See, what tongue-tied really means is it's what you would call a financial arrangement in which a group of participants share in the arrangement's advantages until all but one has died or defaulted, at which time the whole goes to that survivor. Survivor, excuse me. But anyway, the main point I'm trying to make is this before I get in. The reason I explained that to you guys before I get into what they use, and I'm about to break some shit down to my people that don't know about these things. I'm sure a lot of you are also familiar with the term corporate America. And I'm about to break down that also to you guys why they call America corporate America sometimes, okay? I'm about to break this down for you guys, okay? Now, one of the main reasons why you hear a lot of people call America corporate America, it has a lot to do with your social and your birth certificate. See, what a lot of people don't know is, see, your social security number is what they call a treasury direct account. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong, there's ways to use that account, but you best to know what the fuck you're doing before you start trying to tamper with that type of shit, because if you don't know exactly what you're doing, they'll start sending you reversal bills on that type of shit. See what I'm saying? And I also known some people that went to jail behind using that shit because, you know, they didn't really use it correctly. That's the reason I say, I mean, there's ways now that you can believe me. And if you ever heard anybody tell you, any of you guys, that your social security number is an actual, like, account, like banking account, yes, it is. I've tried it before. I didn't actually go as far as to use any of the funds. I just tried it just to see if the shit was true. And if you pay close attention to that number on the back of your social security card, man, those like letters in the red and those numbers back there, that also lets you know exactly which Federal Reserve Bank that your account is being held, that the government uses. And that's another reason why they call America corporate America, because the government is using that social number to their advantage. And I'm about to explain that right now as we go. Just follow me now. And I'm about to break this down. The most devastating form of volunteering occurs when someone promises, and people do this unflinchingly every single day, to be responsible for and pay the debt of another party. Believe it or not, this is how every unwary soul has sealed his fate. The trade name game. And I'm going to get to that in a minute too. The trade name game. You know, that is deep. It goes deep, y'all. But anyway, and with the content of what I'm reading, it's dedicated to exposing, untangling, and rectifying. As untangling and being rectifying. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But anyway, that's like the evil twin that works in concert with it, and I'm about to let y'all know what that is too. Just follow me. Just try to keep up and follow me on this. Like, you know, the legal masters of this world are factually, eminently aware of the distinction between your true name and your trade name, and have come up with an incredibly ingenious device, or should I say plan, for exploiting the differences without even tipping their hand. Yeah. Now, what it meant by the trade name game is this. Now, if you pay close attention to certain forms, especially like court affidavits and your social security card and your birth certificate, okay? If you pay close attention, man, notice that your full name is spelled in all capital letters, okay? And the reason why it's spelled in all capital letters, follow me on this, I'm about to break this down, is because, if you think about this, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people are not going to tell you this, see, your name in all capital letters, is really your straw man, and there's ways of, to get, that back and claim that as well. The fraudulent act gives the government a legal person to whom to deal with directly. In other words, the legal person, which is the government name, the government is the legal person. Reason it's said like this is because, think about it, they're the ones that put your name in all caps. That's why That's what they're gonna call the government. The legal person has your name, but in all capital letters. Okay. In other words, that person in all capital letters that they put on your social, that's really your straw man. That's how the government takes advantage of most of its citizens. You understand? And like I said, your social security number is an actual fucking bank account. I'm serious. I'm dead serious, bro. And the birth certificate, when you sign your birth certificate, or your parents sign your birth certificate when you're born, or if you happen to be some of the people that sign your kids' birth certificates when they were born, you're pretty much negotiating your kid with the state. And I'm about to get into that in just a second too. If you can just bear with me on this, okay? Like they say, the reason that every compliant unfailingly cites the defendant's or respondent's name in all capital letters is the reason the name on every license is said in capital letters. The reason the name on every social security card has been converted from English as originally written on the application into legalese. The reason that all banks insist on listing all accounts, not in the true name of the party who walks in and fills out the form. And the reason they're saying that is if you just spell your name regularly with just capitalizing the first letters of your name, that's who you really are, okay? Like when you spell your name in all caps, that's your straw man. That's who the government, that's how they use you as, how they can pretty much use you as a slave. We're just going to put it like that, you know. But anyway, but in the artificial trade name associated therewith is the same to conduct business with you via an unknown, invisible, corporately colored artificial person that is subject to all statutory regulation and therefore under their complete control and power. The same applies equally when either of the two names is called out verbally. Remember, differently constructed names comprise comprise distinct items of property. However, similar filing a UCC financing statement is the first step in releasing yourself from these bonds. Because your birth certificate is also, don't forget your name is also in all caps on your birth certificate as well. And that's, I'm going to get into that in just a second too. The second is cessation of volunteering to be responsible for the trade name's obligations by signing on its behalf. This point is thoroughly addressed in the discussion on appellation in section 1 of maintaining fiscal integrity. And that's a little more deeper. I'll break that down to you guys as well, but I've already took steps on this type of thing that I'm just naming. So I'm going to continue to break this down for you guys because a lot of people don't know these things, man. Like, think about this. Anytime you sign a birth certificate, back to that, anytime you decide to sign a birth certificate, okay, you're pretty much signing, you're negotiating your child with the state. And I'm about to break that down. When someone signs his name on a commercial instrument listed in his straw man's trade name, which is the straw man, that's the person that's on, that the government uses to use you as, like I said, pretty much a damn slave, okay? Like I said, when someone signs his name on a commercial instrument listed in his straw man's trade name, he finalizes his financial obligations in that particular transaction and also contributes just that much more in the chosen master's designs for a new world order. Yep. The order is an economic pecking order, with them owning literally everything at the top and you and your family and friends owning nothing, including your labor. Including your labor at the bottom. Yeah. I hope you guys following this. But I've been knew these things. I'm just breaking all this down for my people that didn't even have a clue about this type of shit. Okay, like in the Uniform Commercial Code has been written to augment the liabilities that come with signing on behalf of another, but has also been encrypted to keep curious slaves, that's us, if you got a job or whatever, from finding out how they are being duped. Okay, because of because the legal masters of the world cannot bind us into perpetual servitude without also offering a route for escape. We have remedy in the UCC, and that's a form, a financial form that you can sign if you really want to bail yourself out of this situation. But that's only available, to the ones that's woke. If you're woke, that's the form that you can acquire to bail yourself out. And I'm gonna tell you something else. You better know what the fuck you're doing whenever you decide to try to fill out one of those damn UCC forms, buddy. I can tell you that right now, because if you don't, I'm telling you, the consequences of that shit can be very harsh. I'm just gonna put it that way. That's why before any of you decide to try that shit or look into it, make sure you know what the fuck you're doing, because it's got to be certain UCC forms. They got different forms. They got UCC 3-204 forms, UCC such and such dash 404 forms, all that shit, bro. Okay? But anyway, the general rule is that a signature is an endorsement. Follow me on this. Now, hear what I just said? The general rule is that a signature is an endorsement. If the instrument does not indicate an ambiguous intent of the signer not to sign as the endorser, intent may be determined by the words accompanying the signature, the place of signature, or other circumstances. Okay? Now, follow me on this. Follow me on this. I'm about to enlighten you guys to some stuff that they're not going to tell you about. Okay, I'm dead serious. Just follow me on this. Okay, like I was saying, endorsement means a signature other than that of a signer as maker, drawer, or acceptor, that alone accompanied by other words is made on an instrument for the purpose of negotiating the instrument, restricting payment of the instrument, or incurring endorser's liability on the instrument. But regardless of the intent of the signer, a signature and its accompanying words is an endorsement unless the accompanying words, terms of the instrument, place of the signature, or other circumstances ambiguously indicates that the signature was made for a purpose other than endorsement. For the purpose of determining whether a signature is made on an instrument, a paper affixed to the instrument as part of the instrument. And I'm gonna break this down. I'm gonna break this down, man, because like I said, a lot of people doesn't even have a fucking clue, about these type of things, man. You know, like, think about this. In other words, man, I ain't even gonna bore you guys with no more of the real true facts that I have in my face. I'm just gonna say this. In other words, with that, I'll just let you guys know that. See, let me break this down. I'm gonna go ahead and break this all the way down. Okay. See, anytime that you sign your name on anything, okay? Anytime you sign your name on anything, you're pretty much negotiating. In other words, you're pretty much, say, like back to the birth certificate thing. If you was to sign your name, every time you sign your name on a birth certificate, you're pretty much negotiating your child with the state, okay? That's pretty much what you're doing, man. In other words, it's called an anomalous endorsement. Means this is pertaining to when you sign something. Your signature means an endorsement made by a person who is not the holder of the instrument. And anomalous endorsement does not affect the manner in which the instrument may be negotiated. Okay? Think about it. That means like the departing form, the common rule, man. Like you pretty much, they'll tell you that certain things that they're not gonna tell you what I'm telling you guys. Like this is and the reason I say that is because this is the type of information that you pretty much gonna have to find out for yourselves. I'm telling you, man. This type of information that I'm letting you guys know about. But anyway, notice if you don't sign that birth certificate, I'm telling you, man, anytime you sign, if you have kids and sign their birth certificates, you're negotiating your child with the state. Believe it or not, because guess what? I'm finna enlighten y'all. If your kid, say like if your kid missed too many days from school, guess who's gonna be some of the first people to get in contact with your ass? The state. And you better have a legitimate reason. And because if you ain't got a legitimate reason why that child has been missing school, guess what? The state they're gonna take them. And you know why they can take them? Because your ass signed that birth certificate, buddy. Which is your straw, your kid's straw man, because notice that names on all birth certificates they're in all capital letters. You still following me on this? Anyway, with that being said, back to what I was telling you guys about how this shit works. And don't forget, oh, and by the way, yeah, on your birth certificate is also a secret trust fund that the government also uses. Okay? Dead ass serious. When you sign that birth certificate, guess what? You signing a secret trust fund. And then what makes it even more fucked up is that the only ones that can really use this money is the government when they taking advantage of your ass, making you a slave. Okay, when it comes to just the workforce, period. Think about what I'm saying, man. Anytime your parents, or if you're a parent, sign that birth certificate, like I said, man, you're pretty much negotiating your child with the state. And everybody knows with the state comes the government. Okay? It's actually a fucking trust fund, man. It's a secret trust fund that they use. Think about how birth certificates look. It looks just like trust fund certificates, if you really pay close attention to them. But now, it's ways that you can use. There's ways that you can, use that account to your advantage. But like I said, if you doing this type of stuff, man, you best to know what the fuck you doing, because they've made this shit so complex to do. You're gonna have to definitely be, when it comes to just knowing about the process of signing and knowing about certain forms before you put your names on it, you're pretty much gonna have to be super savvy with that type of shit. Because if you're not, I advise you not to do it unless you got the money to pay a legal advisor who specializes in that type of shit. That'll be the best way to go if you really don't know what you're doing, because they've actually jailed people, and really, like, I've seen people get jailed and just pretty much fucked over because they didn't fill out the right forms that they thought they were supposed to have had. Okay. Anyway, yeah. With that being said, yeah. And then guess what? And another thing, and if your ass don't sign that birth certificate, you will not go home with that child. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you why this shit is very true. Think about this shit, man. What I just said. I'll never forget this. It was a couple in Alabama. A young white couple. I cannot remember their exact names, but I never forget it. They were from Alabama. The guy's wife had just had a baby. Okay? Come to find out, these were two people that were actually woke to the birth certificate signing thing, how it works. And they refused to sign the birth certificate. Guess what happened when they refused to sign that birth certificate? The state sent some of their people in there. I bullshit you not. I cannot make this up. State sent some people in there, and they took those people's baby. I'll swear, I cannot make this up. I would not make no shit like this up, okay? And the reason why a lot of people slept on it, because see, that's the type of stuff that they don't want to be known when it comes to being on the world news spotlight, okay? They don't want that to be known at all. That's the type of news that they try to sweep under the rug, because that's how it works. They took those people baby because they didn't want to sign their trust fund. Yeah. They were like, oh, what? Oh, no. If y'all ain't finna sign their trust fund so we can cash in on this child when it does get old enough to work, y'all won't be going home with this baby. Came and took them people baby because they refused to sign the birth certificate. I bullshit you not. That's why, think about it, man. Anytime your kid missed too many days of school and you ain't got no legitimate reason why, sooner or later the state, they gonna come knocking at your door. Or a kid can just call them people or some certain people, and just because you whooped your kid's ass trying to chastise your child into, molding a better, human being, when they do get old enough to be on their own, if that child called the wrong person and happened to, if that child that fucked up with it, nowadays that child can call certain people and tell them that you was abusing that child. Guess who's gonna come and get them? The state. They coming to get them. Why you think when certain people, not really taking care of their kids like they supposed to? Now, that's about the only thing that shit is good for, signing a birth certificate for those type of people who ain't really taking care of their little ones like they supposed to be taking care of them. Other than that's some bullshit, man. Like, if you really think about it. But shit, that's just the stuff that they're not gonna tell you, man. But like I said, there's ways of getting out of these type of things. But you best to know what the fuck you're doing. I'm telling you, and because if you don't, like I said, if you got the money and you feel like you type of person that really want, I've had some of it done, but I had people guide me who knew way more about this shit than I did, and we'll get into that on another video. But I just wanted to enlighten some of my people about how that social security number and the birth certificate works. Your social security number is actually a fucking Treasury Direct account. That's what they call it. That is an actual account. I've tried it. And those letters on the back, behind those numbers on the back of your social, also lets you know exactly what Federal Reserve Bank your account is at. And every account is worth millions. You wouldn't fucking believe it. I've already looked into that. Believe me, that shit is real. But I didn't go too far with it because at the time I wasn't too savvy on that type of shit. I mean, I knew a little bit about it, but not much. But anyway, yeah. They came and took those people's baby, bro. I forgot what part of Alabama it was in, but if you think I'm kidding you guys, they probably, if they haven't took that video down, all you gotta do is pull it up, man. But I knew this years ago. This video's years old. This type of shit has been going on, man. Believe it or not, but yeah. It's true. Now I just gave all of my people who didn't know shit about how the birth certificate and the social security number works and how the straw man works. They use your straw man to their advantage. That's why you hear a lot of people call America corporate America. America is a fucking corporation, man, that actually uses their own people as slaves. That's why I don't understand racism. If only if the people that are racist really know what's going on with this type of thing I just named. That's why when I see a person being racist, I can't do nothing but laugh at them, because I've been woke to this type of shit. Because they don't know they're just as big of a fucking slave as I am, just by them even having a social security number. You dig? or just by their birth certificate even being signed. Idiots just don't know your parents, your parents been signed your ass over to the state as well. Fool. That's I'm talking to all you people that are racist. That's why I've never been racist. We're all slaves to corporate America, whether you want to believe it or not. That's just one of my beliefs from the information that I have, or should I say some of the knowledge that I have. Because never forget, people, I'm going to end this video on this note. Never forget, people. That's why I've always told my people that take the time out to stop and rock with that boy, Lamont That Way Jones, this way. That's why I always tell them that knowledge is power. Never forget that. With that being said, may the Heavenly Father Most High bless you and all of your families. And make sure you guys stay safe out there while you're out there on that paper chase, trying to provide for your families, swimming with them sharks. You dig? With that being said, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. With that being said, it's that boy, Lamont. Oh, I always forget. I also appreciate you guys who took the time out to stop and rock with that boy Lamont That Way Jones, this way. Lamont That Way Jones, Dirty Low, exit in the building. Until next time, peace. Peace out.